US President Donald Trump says he remains firm on his decision to impose more tariffs on China during a meeting with British Prime Minister Boris Johnson on the sidelines of the G7 in France. For more, let's go live to Sky News political reporter Tom Connell, who's in Biarritz. Tom, President Trump says he has no regrets imposing these sanctions.
Yeah, completely unapologetic. Look, that's the way he was before he left here for the G7, so no big surprise. He was pretty conciliatory yesterday with Emmanuel Macron at this little breakfast they have. And look, these summits can often be about these little side meetings. The cameras get let in and leaders give off a few of their true feelings. And this one today, a second breakfast after meeting with Emmanuel Macron yesterday. Today was with Boris Johnson, the UK Prime Minister, the first time the two meeting as leaders. And Donald Trump was pretty expansive today and was certainly taking no backward steps over these tariffs. Again, believes that these are hurting China, and that's what he wants to do.
I think they respect the trade war. It has to happen. China's been, I can only speak for the United States. I can't say what they've been doing to the UK and to other places, but from the standpoint of the United States, what they've done is outrageous that presidents and administrations allowed them to get away with taking hundreds of billions of dollars out every year, putting it into China. So the answer is nobody's told me that. Nobody would tell me that.
It's not what world leaders wanted to hear, but it's also what they would have expected, given what Donald Trump had to say just before he left. Remember, ratcheting up those tariffs and also making threats of more even against the host nation, France. But Donald Trump was a bit more complimentary of Boris Johnson and his handling of Brexit, another saga that is dragging on and involving trade as well.
He needs no advice. He's the right man for the job. I've been saying that for a long time. Didn't make your predecessor very happy, but I've been saying it for a long time.
And assuming Brexit does still happen, the UK already looking to stitch up some other trade deals to soften that blow. We're expecting one to be worked on between Scott Morrison and Boris Johnson. And the two leaders, the US and the UK leaders, spoke about their own deal.
And we're having very, very good meetings. So far, it's really good. Yeah. We're going to do a fantastic deal once we clear up some of the obstacles in our path.
We get some fantastic many deals. Talking about many different deals, but we're having a good time. As far as UK and the United States, we're working on a very big trade deal, and I think it's going to work out very well.
And Tom, Prime Minister Scott Morrison is also due to hold talks with the US President.
Yeah, it's going to be what they describe as a pull-aside. In diplomatic language, it means it's not a special sit-down dinner in a room, if you like, but just a quick little meeting off the side of the main events. Now, for Scott Morrison, he's obviously travelling to the US later on this year, so he'll get plenty of time to talk to Donald Trump. That's not a major issue for him. He does have a focus more tomorrow than today, a couple of sessions, including on biodiversity. We know Scott Morrison's spoken a lot about wanting to get plastics out of the ocean, and also online terror, the extent to which online platforms, think Facebook and Google and other things, 4chan, 8chan, all these types of things, allow online terror material to stay there, to fester, and even go to the Christchurch terror attack to be live broadcast as well. So he's part of a push, obviously, to reduce all of that. So that'll be a session tomorrow for the Australian Prime Minister. Not the main event here, not one of the G7, but invited along as a partner country. He'll also meet with the UK leader, Boris Johnson, for the first time that they're Prime Ministers and meeting.
Tom Connell there, live from Biarritz. Thank you very much for the update.